There is a written pattern for this video tutorial if it's easier for you to follow along. I have this pattern available in Ravelry. For this crochet project, you're going to need your 4mm crochet hook. You're also going to need your regular tapestry needle or darning needle. And then also you're going to need a very slender darning needle that has a large eye on it. And to help you thread it, you'll just use your DMC yarn threader. And that's so you can get the tapestry needle. If you're using the sequins for the eyes, the tapestry needle will fit right through the center of your sequin. The sequins that I used are the Round Cup 5mm by Treehouse Studio, the iridescent ones. So I had a 5mm and then I also had an 8mm. This is what they look like. I also like to use the Beadle-On monofilament for sewing the sequins on. It's just very sturdy, secure, holds it in place nicely. And it's a clear, transparent one. So you're going to want a transparent one so you can't see it. This is what the eye will look like after I show you how to make it. If you prefer, you can use the 20mm safety eyes. Those work well for this project too. The yarn that I used on video tutorial is Red Heart Super Saver, and the color that I'm using is Shocking Pink. Here's some more information on this yarn for those that want to find an equivalent yarn. And then here is the amount in one skein. You're only going to need one skein for this project. My alternate color is also by Red Heart Super Saver, Soft White. And again, the information is similar, all the same, I mean. And then here's the amount of this yarn. For the eyes, Red Heart Super Saver would also work, but for my eyes, I just love this sparkle that comes on this I Love This cotton yarn. So I'm using Sparkle White, and then for the main color I'm just using this light blue sparkle. And of course you only need one skein of each of the yarns that I'm showing. I'm not going to show how to make the bow in this video tutorial because it's in my Crochet Pitbull Part 2 video tutorial. I show how to make this. The only difference is I made a single crochet into every stitch around the border. On each of the corners I made 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And it comes out beautiful if you want to make that as a different style of bow. The only thing I'm going to show you how to make in this video tutorial is the snout, how to change the snout. The Crochet Pitbull Part 1 video tutorial is exactly the same. So even with the Red Heart yarn, your snout will come out okay. But I'm going to show you an alternate way to add color on the snout to change the appearance of your dog. The collar is made the same way. So I'm not going to be showing how to make that. And the body and the legs are also made the same, and the tail. So everything else you can make off of my Crochet Pitbull Dog video tutorials. The only thing I'm going to be showing on this video tutorial is the alternate style head and ear. Because with the original Pitbull I made, they discontinued the yarn, so trying to use Red Heart for the ears doesn't come out the same. For the nose, I just used Red Heart Super Saver as well. And I'm just using my black yarn, but you could use brown too. And then Karen's Simply Soft brown also works. For the tongue, I'm just using some of my leftover baby pink yarn. So whatever pink yarn that you have, you could use for the tongue. So we're going to start with the snout. And if you don't want to change colors, the easier method is just to use a solid color for the snout like I did for this Pitbull. But if you want to change colors, I'm going to show you now on video tutorial how you can make an alternate style snout by changing colors. Here's another example of how I changed colors. So you could see how I used the main color of the dog on the snout. So I'm going to start with that alternate color and then show you how you can change colors to create a different look for your snout. So this is Leo, and this was the picture given to me to show how they have the different color change in the snout. And here is the snout again, and then together. So you could see how you can have fun and try to match the colors. So we're going to start with a magic circle. Just take your alternate color yarn, and again we're starting with the snout. Just take and drape the yarn across your 4 fingers. Use your thumb to stabilize. Then wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers and hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then take your crochet hook, go under those 2 loops, bring up a loop. Then yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for your slip knot. Now you're going to make 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So just bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through both for a single crochet. Then you're going to make 6 of them. Then just take your forefinger and your thumb, hold the base of the 6 single crochet. You have these 2 loops on the opposite side. You're going to pull on one of them. If it doesn't close, let go and pull on the other loop. But this one's closing, so just gently close it as much as you can. Don't worry if you don't get it all the way closed. We can close it more later. Then take that loose yarn end and pull on that. Then you're going to turn your work. We're going to work into that first stitch, and you're going to make 2 single crochet into that first stitch, and you're going to make 2 single crochet into every stitch around until you have a total of 12 stitches. I'm just going to work the first one with you. So you're going to go right into the same stitch and work 2 single crochet into the same stitch, and then you're going to work 2 single crochet into every stitch around until you have a total of 12 stitches. Now you can take and turn your work over if you need to close the center of the magic circle. Just pull on that loose yarn end on the back, and then that closes up the center for you. Now you can take your loose yarn end, or you can take a yarn marker. I just like to use my loose yarn ends, and then place it right where you left off. We're going to continue the increase rounds, which means we're going to increase the number of stitches in the round. So for the first increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. And then you just repeat that pattern all the way around, back to the yarn marker. So 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. So for beginners, I would recommend counting your stitches in the round. You should have a total of 18 stitches all the way around the circle. Then you're going to take your yarn marker, move it up. We're going to start the next increase round. You're going to make 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around, back to the yarn marker. So 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch. So now you should have 24 stitches total in the round. Then we're going to make 1 more increase round, which will be our last one for now. Make 1 single crochet into 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 4th stitch. Repeat that pattern all the way around, back to the yarn marker. You should have 30 stitches total after that increase round. Now just take your yarn marker, we're not going to make an increase round. You're just going to make one round of one single crochet in every stitch. So make only one single crochet in every stitch around. And when you get back to the yarn marker, you should have a total of 30 stitches still. So one single crochet in every stitch around. Now you could set your snout aside. We're going to make the nose. Go ahead and get whatever yarn color that you're using for the nose. I'm using black yarn for my nose. The first thing you're going to do is just take your yarn and fold it over on itself to form a loop. Then take your crochet hook, go right through the loop, then hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb. Just yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for a slip knot. Just cinch the knot down. And then you're going to make a chain. So we're going to make a chain of 7. So there's 1, 2, 5, and 7. Then you're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to go into the second chain from the hook. So go into the second chain from the hook, bring up a loop, and then make a single crochet. And then you're going to make a single crochet into every stitch back across. And then in the last stitch, you're going to place 3 single crochet into the same stitch. So 1 single crochet into every stitch except for the last stitch. So now I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to make 1 single crochet, and then in the last stitch I'm going to make 3 single crochet into that last stitch. And I'm turning my work so that I'm going to be working on the opposite side. And I'm also going to bury my loose yarn end as I crochet. So here is where we just made the single crochet, and now we're on the opposite side. So you're going to go into the next stitch over, go behind the loose yarn end, bring up a loop, make your single crochet on the opposite side, and we're going to be working in rounds. Go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, make a single crochet. You're just going to make a single crochet in every stitch across except for the last stitch on the opposite side. So here I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to go ahead and just cut my loose yarn end to get it out of the way because I've buried it enough. So 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then I'm going to make 3 single crochet into that last stitch. So now you can get your yarn marker, place it right where you left off, and you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. And then that will bring you to the end. So I just made 1 single crochet into 6 stitches, and then I have my stitch that's right on the end. I'm going to turn my work. On that stitch on the end, you're going to make 2 single crochet into the same stitch. So you want 2 single crochet into that end stitch. And what that does is it increases the number of stitches in the round on the nose and makes it a little bit larger. Then you're turning your work to the opposite side to head back to the yarn marker, working in rounds. And then you're going to go into the next stitch and just make 1 single crochet into each of the remaining stitches except for the stitch right before the yarn marker. You're going to place 2 single crochet into the same stitch in that last stitch before the yarn marker. So here I have 2 stitches left. And now I'm going to put 2 single crochet into that last stitch, same stitch, and then I just finished that round, and I can move my yarn marker up to get ready for the next round. Now you're not making any increase rounds, you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around until you've completed 2 rounds. So there is no need to remove the yarn marker, just keep going until you've finished 2 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So here you can see I finished 2 rounds, 1, 2. I can go ahead and remove my yarn marker. Now you're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over, but first I'm just going to show you what my nose looks like. So now just take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over, and then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. Then go ahead and finish off, just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop and bring enough yarn through to sew the nose onto the snout. And then for the stuffing for the nose, you can see how you have a little bit of a hole. You can see through it to my backboard. That's why we're going to use the black yarn to stuff it with. So go ahead and just cut enough of your black yarn to stuff the nose. So you can see how I used the yarn in there, and now you can't even see through the nose. Looks good. Now your nose is ready to be sewn onto the snout. So now you can go ahead and get your snout. And what I usually do is just have the loop end where we're crocheting to the left, and then I have the center. Here's the center of our magic circle, and this is the right side of your snout, and then here's the wrong side with the loose yarn end. So this is the side you're going to keep on the inside where people can't see, and then this is the side that people will be able to see. So you just take your nose, just line it up on the center, right over the center. Just position it where you want. And then once you have it positioned, then just take your tapestry needle on the long end that you left for sewing. So once you have the nose positioned how you want it on the snout, just take your tapestry needle and you're going to sew along the base, all along the base of the nose. So you just go in and out, sewing the nose to the snout. Now after you sew the nose on to the snout, then we're going to make the mouth. Now don't worry if you sew your nose on and you don't have enough room here for your mouth. You can sew it on later once you've made a few more rounds. But to sew the mouth on, you just take your tapestry needle and you come up in the center beneath the nose. Then you're going to go straight down 2 rows. 1, 2, go straight down, back to the wrong side of the snout. Then you're going to come up along the curve about 2 stitches up to the right or to the left of the mouth, and then come right back down the center for the smile. And then on the opposite side, whoops, you do the same thing. Come up about 2 stitches up on the opposite side. Make sure you're level so you don't have a crooked mouth. And then come back down in. And then just tie a knot on the back. Now you're ready to continue on with the snout. And you can either continue on with the same color, or you can add your alternate color. So now I'm going to show you how to add the alternate color. Just take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over and bring up a loop. Then just take your alternate color, mine's the soft white colored yarn, and then you're just going to loop, turn the hook upside down and bring the loop through both loops on the hook. Then go ahead and chain 1. Then you're going to take and cut, actually you're not going to cut your previous colored yarn, you're going to carry it as you crochet. Just take and tie a knot. Unless you're finished with your alternate color, then you can go ahead and cut it, but I'm going to carry it, so I'm going to show you how to carry it as well. So now you're just going to crochet around you're going to carry both yarn as you crochet. So we're going to crochet with the white colored yarn and then bury and carry the pink colored yarn. So take your crochet hook, you're going to go into the next stitch over, and we're going to be making an increase round also. So for this increase round, you're going to be making 1 single crochet into 4 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 5th stitch. And we don't really need a yarn marker yet, because as you can see with the white colored yarn, you're going to know when you make it back. So just go into the next stitch, you're going to go behind the pink colored yarn, bring up a loop with the white colored yarn. You have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and then go through both loops for a single crochet. And you can see how you're burying and carrying the pink colored yarn. Now you're going to go into the next stitch over, behind the pink colored yarn, bring up a loop with the white colored yarn for your second single crochet in the next stitch. So 1 single crochet into 4 stitches, and we're carrying the pink yarn as we make the single crochet with the white colored yarn. So that's 3. Here's 4. Now we're going to make the increase stitch. So 2 single crochet into the same stitch with the white colored yarn. So go ahead, continue making 1 single crochet into 4 stitches and 2 single crochet into the 5th stitch all the way back up to the top part of the nose, and then I'll show you some color changing up there. So now you can see how I've made 1 single crochet into 4 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 5th stitch all the way up to above the nose. Now I'm going to show you some color changes. So now you can just drop the white colored yarn and then pick up the pink colored yarn that you were carrying along. Then you're going to go into the next stitch over, and then you're just going to go behind the white colored yarn and bring up a loop with the pink colored yarn. And then make your 1 single crochet. Then I'm going to make 1 more single crochet into the next stitch. And you can make as much as you want with your alternate color. I'm just going to make a couple stitches with the pink colored yarn, and then I'm going to switch right back to the white colored yarn. So I'm going to drop the pink colored yarn, pick up the white colored yarn. So far I've made 2 stitches of 1 single crochet into every stitch. Here is my 3rd, because you're still going to work your increase round. It's just going to be with a different yarn strand for the color. So this is my 3rd single crochet. and then my 4th. And then I need to make 2 single crochet into the 5th stitch. So I'm going to make 1 more single crochet with the white colored yarn. And this is just because this is how I want to make my color changes. You can make yours however you want. So now I'm going to drop and pick up the pink and then make 1 more single crochet into the same stitch with the pink colored yarn. And then I'm going to make a couple more stitches with the pink colored yarn. So here's 1. I'm going to make 1 more with the pink. So remember, you're going to have 1 laid down with whatever loop that you have on your crochet hook. So for my second one, I'm just going to drop and then pick up the white colored yarn. So you can have fun with the colors. So you see how it laid down the pink. And then here's my 3rd. And then my 4th. And then I'm going to make 2 single crochet into that last stitch. And now you're going to need your yarn marker. And you can see the fun that you can have with the color changes. So you should have had 36 total stitches in that round. Go ahead and take your yarn marker, place it right where you left off. And then I'm going to continue crocheting mine with the white colored yarn and carrying my pink colored yarn all the way up to the top of the nose. And then you can come back and I'll show you how I continue the color changes above the nose. And you're not going to be making increased rounds. So you're going to make 2 rounds of only 1 single crochet into every stitch and color change where you need to. So that means that every time you cross the yarn marker, you should still only have 36 stitches in the round. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a few single crochet with you. So I'm going to go into the next stitch over, go behind the pink colored yarn and make my single crochet, and I'm going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around, carrying my pink colored yarn until I get to the top of the nose. And when you get to the top of the nose, come back and then I'll make some color changes with you. So this is what my crochet work looks so far. And I've made it to the top of the nose. And for mine, I'm going to color change with when I have 1 stitch of the white before the pink. So I'm going to drop the white colored yarn that I was crocheting with. I'm going to go into the next stitch over, go behind the white colored yarn, bring up the pink colored yarn, and then make my single crochet. And you can see how it'll lay the white colored yarn down. So then I'm going to make another single crochet into the next stitch with my pink colored yarn. And then I'm going to change colors again. And I'm only making 1 single crochet in every stitch. And then for mine, I'm just changing colors a stitch before my color changes. So what I mean is, see how I have the white stitch here, right before the pink? So I'm going to change colors before I make my single crochet into that white colored stitch. So now I'm going to make my color change, drop the white, pick up the pink, and this is what my color change looks like. So that's how you make color changes. So now I'm just going to continue crocheting the snout and showing you how many increase rounds and regular rounds you need to complete your snout. I'm just going to finish this round with you. So I need one more round. This was just one round of one single crochet in every stitch. I'm going to make one more. So you can see how I'm not going to remove my yarn marker. I'm just going to leave it to help me keep track. So I finished one. I need one more to complete 2 rounds. So just continue one single crochet into every stitch, carrying your pink colored yarn or whatever alternate color yarn you have, and making your color changes for 2 rounds of one single crochet in every stitch. And then here's how mine looks so far. So here you can see how I finished 2 rounds of one single crochet in every stitch. Now we're going to make another increase round. Go ahead and take and move your yarn marker up. And for this increase round, you're going to be making one single crochet into 5 stitches. You can see how I'm carrying my other colored yarn still for color changes. For mine, I'm not making any more color changes, but I'm going to go ahead and continue carrying it. So that's 5, and then 2 single crochet into the 6th stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around, back to the yarn marker, and just making your color changes wherever you want for your dog. So now I'm back to the yarn marker, and you should have a total of 42 stitches in the round. This is what mine looks like so far. Now at any time you can take and cut your alternate color. I'm going to go ahead and cut mine now. Make sure you leave a little bit of a loose yarn end. And then you can make sure you tie a knot to secure it. So you just take and tie it to your yarn that you're crocheting with. And you're going to want to tie a snug knot, just not too tight to where you mess up your work. Usually go the 3rd time. Then you could just take and move your yarn marker up. Then you're just going to make one round of one single crochet in every stitch. So just one round of one single crochet in every stitch around. So that means that when you get back to the yarn marker, you should only have 42 stitches in the round. Then, after you finish your one round of one single crochet in every stitch, you can make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. Just take your crochet hook, go into that next stitch, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Then go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the snout onto the dog. I'm just going to make a little bit because I'm going to show you how to crochet more onto the outer part of the snout, but we're going to do that after we've made the eyes and the head and the tongue. So we're going to make the tongue next. To make the tongue, I'm using my light pink colored yarn, and the first thing you're going to do is just take the yarn, fold it over on itself to form a loop. Take your crochet hook, go right through the loop, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb, just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, go through that loop for a slip knot. So go ahead and cinch down that knot. Then you're going to make a chain of 4. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to take your crochet hook, you're going to go into the second chain from the hook, bring up a loop, make a single crochet, and then you're going to make a single crochet into each of the stitches back across. Then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, make a single crochet into the next stitch over, and then a single crochet into that last stitch, chain 1, turn your work, single crochet into the next stitch, and then slip stitch into that last stitch. So this is just a different method. I have showed different methods sometimes for making the tongue. And then you're just going to finish off, just yarn over, and go ahead and pull enough yarn through to sew the tongue onto the mouth. Now where we finished off is actually the bottom of the tongue, and your loose yarn end is up in the top right corner of the tongue. So what you're going to do is just take your tapestry needle and you're going to move the yarn up towards the top where you're going to be sewing it in place. So this is what your tongue's going to look like. Then you're just going to take and put your tapestry needle onto the short loose yarn end first. This is the long loose yarn end that I'm going to sew it with. And then you can have fun. You could put your tongue to the side, to the center, to the other side, whatever you want. I'm going to put mine on the side here, just below the smile. I'm going to bring that loose yarn end, the small one, through first to the wrong side of the snout. Then I'm going to take the long end that I left for sewing, let me get it on my, there we go. Then you just take and sew it in place. And then you only want to sew along the top edge. And then just secure the tongue onto the snout. That way you still have a little flap for the tongue. Then you can just set the snout aside for now. If you're making your own eyes, you're going to start with the black colored yarn. We're going to start with a magic circle. And you're going to place 6 single crochet into the magic circle. The first stitch will be your slip knot, and then the 6 single crochet, just like we did before for the snout. Go ahead and close it. Then you're going to go ahead and join the circle. So take your crochet hook, go into that first stitch in the circle, bring up a loop, and then you have 2 loops on your hook. Now you're going to join your eye color. So whatever eye color you choose for your dog, for mine it was the light blue sparkle. Go ahead and bring up a loop with your eye color that you want, and then just chain 1. Then you're going to take and cut the black colored yarn, and then just tie a knot. Then you're going to bury your loose yarn ends as you crochet. Just makes it easier when you go to sew the eye onto your dog. So you're going to take your crochet hook, you're going to go into that first stitch in the round. You're going to go behind the loose yarn ends, bring up a loop, make a single crochet, and then you're going to make 2 single crochet into every stitch around, burying the loose yarn ends as you crochet. And then you can cut the loose yarn ends at any time. if they before you make it back to where you started. So 2 single crochet into every stitch around and then come back. So for mine, I have 12 stitches in the round. I made it back to where I started. Then I'm going to take my crochet hook, go into that first stitch I made, bring up a loop, and now I'm going to join my white colored yarn. So I'm joining a white sparkly yarn for the whites of the eyes for mine. So the same way, I'm going to bring up a loop and chain 1, and then I'm going to cut the previous colored yarn, and then tie a knot. Then again, you're going to bury the loose yarn ends as you crochet both of them. Go into the next stitch over, go behind your loose yarn ends, bring up a loop, make your single crochet, and you're going to make 2 single crochet into every stitch around just like you did before, except for the last 3 stitches of the eye color. You're going to leave those 3 stitches unworked, but into the rest of the stitches you're going to place 2 single crochet into each of those stitches and then come back. This is how your work should look, and then as soon as you finish those last 2 single crochet, then you can go ahead and finish off. So just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the whites of the eye onto the dog. Now you can place the sequins or sew the sequins onto the eye. So now you can take and sew the little sequins on. So you need to make sure you know which one is going to be your left eye and which one's going to be your right eye. And then you're going to place your sequins. I'm going to place the small sequins along the inner part of the eye. So say this is my right eye on video. I'm going to put the sequin in the top left corner here, about 11 o'clock. And then on the left eye, I'm going to be making it at around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, using a time clock as a guide. So now you just take your tapestry needle, and I'm using my slender one that fits my Beadle-On monofilament. You could use a regular sewing needle and thread. It's just that the thread isn't as strong as this Beadle-On monofilament is, which is why I like to use it. And what I do first is I just go up from the wrong side to the right side of the eye, approximately where I would like to place my sequin. So this is going to be my right eye on video. So for the dog, it actually would be the left eye, which is what I mean. Then you just take your sequin. I'm using my small one for the inner part of the eye. And then you can take and go through the center. This one doesn't have the hole punched properly. There it goes. Okay. And then you want to make sure that if you got the cup one, like mine, that you place it up so that the cup portion is facing up. And then you just bring the monofilament through. Make sure you leave enough on the back side for tying a knot. Then you can secure the sequin where you want it. Just go right down along the side of the sequin. And then just tie a knot on the back. Now when I tie a knot with this monofilament, I tie about 7. Just make sure it doesn't get tangled. That way it's very secure, because I don't want the sequin coming off. And then I just leave a very short loose yarn end, but we can trim for the loose yarn end after we're finished sewing it on. So I make around 7 knots in mine, just to make sure that it's not going anywhere. Then you can take your tapestry needle and come back up towards the front along the side of your sequin, and then just go right back down towards the center of the sequin. And then I just sew all around the side of the sequin, securing it to the eye and sewing it in place. So this is what mine looks like after sewing it several times. You can even see the beadle-on monofilament. Then, before I cut the monofilament, I'm going to place the larger cup. So I'm going to go in the area that I want to place the larger cup, and you could place it wherever you want. For mine, I'm going to go a little bit higher here on the eye, and then just take the sequin, cup side up, and then place it on the eye, and then I'm just going to sew it on the same way. So I just come through and then back down along the side, and then that just secures the sequin, and then you can't even see the monofilament as you sew the sequin in place. So this is what mine looks like after sewing both of my eyes with the sequins. So go ahead, finish both of your eyes, and then I'm going to show you how to make the head. For the head, you're going to take the main color that you want for your dog, and I'm using this bright pink color, and you're going to take and fold the yarn over on itself to form a loop. Take your crochet hook, go right through the loop, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for your slip knot. Go ahead and cinch that knot down, and then the loop around your crochet hook. Now you're going to make a chain of 25. I'm just going to show you 4 of them. Just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for 1, 2, 3, and 4. So go ahead, finish a chain of 25, and then come back. Then you're going to take your crochet hook, go into the second chain from the hook, bring up a loop, make your single crochet, and then you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across, except for the very last stitch. The very last stitch, you're going to place 3 single crochet into the last stitch, and then come back. So this is what my work looks like so far. I just finished the 3 single crochet into the very last stitch. Now you're going to turn your work and work along the opposite side so we can work in rounds, just like we did for the dog's nose. So then you're going to take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over, go behind your loose yarn end, bring up a loop, and make a single crochet. So remember, we made 3 single crochet on that end. Now we're working on the opposite side and making 1 single crochet into every stitch on the opposite side so we can work in rounds. And then in the very last stitch, again, you're going to make 3 single crochet into your last stitch in the round, and then come back. Now this is what your work should look like, and we're going to start working in rounds. So you're going to take after you finish your 3 single crochet in the last stitch, then just take and place your yarn marker right where you left off, and then you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 24 stitches, and then come back. So 1 single crochet into 24 stitches. Then that should bring you to the 25th stitch on the end, which you're going to place 2 stitches 2 single crochet into that one stitch, and that will increase your number of stitches in the round. So 2 single crochet into the same stitch on the end. Then you're just going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch except for the last stitch before the yarn marker. In the last stitch before the yarn marker, place 2 single crochet into that stitch and then come back. So this is what my work looks like so far, and I just made it to the stitch before the yarn marker. So I'm going to place 2 single crochet into that last stitch. Then I'm going to move the yarn marker up for the next round, and again you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 24 stitches and then come back. Okay, so I just finished 1 single crochet into the 24 stitches. Now I'm on the end, and this time on the end you can see that there are 2 stitches on the end. You're going to place 2 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and that will again increase the number of stitches in your round. So we're gradually making the rounds with more stitches. Then go ahead and make 1 single crochet in every stitch except for the 2 last stitches before the yarn marker. In those 2 last stitches before the yarn marker, you're going to place 2 single crochet into each of those stitches. So now I'm back to the last 2 stitches before the yarn marker. I'm going to place 2 single crochet into each of those stitches. Then I'm going to go ahead and move my yarn marker up to the next round. This is going to be our last increase round. So for this round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 25 stitches and then come back. So I just finished 1 single crochet into 25 stitches, and then you can see how you have 3 stitches on the end. So you're going to make 2 single crochet into each of those 3 stitches on the end. Then you're just going to make 1 single crochet into each of the remaining stitches except for the last 3 stitches before the yarn marker. So this is how my work looks so far. I have 3 stitches left before the yarn marker. I'm going to place 2 single crochet into each of those stitches. Then you can take and move your yarn marker up, and now you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So we're no longer making increase rounds, which means you should not increase the number of stitches in the round. So every time you pass the yarn marker now, you're going to have 1 to 1 for the stitch count. So only 1 single crochet in every stitch around for 15 rounds, and then so I just finished 15 rows of 1 single crochet in every stitch. And for mine, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch and finish off, even though we're going to come back to this to finish making the neck. So go ahead and yarn over, turn your hook upside down and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook, and you can go ahead and finish off and just leave a little bit of a loose yarn end We're going to come back to this part later. The reason I do this is because it makes it easier for sewing the snout on. But before we sew the snout and the eyes on, I'm going to show you how to make the ears.